What's up, guys? It's Daryl with Auto Dreams coming to you today with hopefully some helpful knowledge. Have you recently been thinking about starting your own YouTube channel? Or maybe you just did and you're trying to make sense of it all, you're trying to navigate on this new journey? Well, I've been doing a car YouTube channel for about a year now, and I've picked up a lot of tips and tricks and gadgets along the way. But hey, no sense you having to reinvent the wheel. Well, I've got a list of 7 essential items that will help you, the new YouTuber, become more efficient at the filming and editing process, and also have an end result that you can be very proud of that's going to be high quality. Alright folks, so welcome back. Creating content on YouTube can be a fun thing. Time consuming, yes, but fun. I don't want you to have to reinvent the wheel, so I'm going to impart some essential items that I feel a beginner YouTuber needs to help speed you along your way to more subscribers, monetization, all that kind of good stuff. And for each item covered here, I'll put a link in the description so you can actually go to Amazon and find those items. So this is part 1 of a 2-part series. Just as a teaser, part 2 is going to cover all kind of gizmos and gadgets and tools that I feel will help take your channel to the next level. Just like this set right here. We will talk about full lighting setups like you see here, and also the power of using a green screen. Definitely don't want to miss part 2. So make sure you take a moment right now to subscribe to the channel and go ahead and hit that bell notification button so you'll be notified the instant part 2 comes out. You don't want to miss it. Okay, let's get right into this video. I'm going to list out my 7 essential items right here for beginners, and then I'm going to come back and cover each one by one and also tell you what problem they're designed to solve. Okay, let's go for it. So in the filming category, number 1, first you're going to need a handheld stabilizer. Likely you'll be starting filming with your iPhone or Android device. You don't want shaky footage, so the handheld stabilizer is going to help control that. Number 2, a basic light kit. You're not always going to be filming outdoors, so you don't want dimly lit videos. Number 3, this really applies to the car YouTubers and those interested in action sports, whether it's canoeing or hiking or surfing. Things will be in motion and you'll need an action style camera like the GoPro to capture that. Okay, so the next 2 items are in the editing category. You're going to spend a lot of time doing editing. So coming in at number 4, editing software. We're going to talk about which ones I've used and which one I currently use. And number 5, a lot of the devices you use to do your filming often use SD cards. So you're going to want to know how to get your footage from your phone over to your laptop if that's where you're doing your editing. So number 5 is a file transfer device. And the final 2 items fall into the category of brand recognition. So number 6, I feel you need a catchy intro, something that just gets people attention right when they start watching your video. Something that'll draw people in right away to what is your channel about and what is your brand about. So that's number 6. Number 7 is custom shirts and or vinyl decals. Still brand recognition, guys. You want to have your channel name displayed on something so that people can see it and often subscribe to your channel without you ever even having to open your mouth. That's important. Okay, let's cover each one in just a little bit more detail. I'm going to move fairly briskly through this part. I want you to do your own research, but I do want you to walk away with 4 things. One is, what does it look like? What problem is it intended to solve? What are some popular manufacturers that make it? And lastly, what's the price point? Okay guys, the first one, digital camera or smartphone gimbal / stabilizer. What are we trying to solve here? We're trying to solve shaky video. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to watch a video and it's moving all over the place and you get sick to your stomach. It's kind of like that old movie back in the day, The Blair Witch Project. You remember? Half the audience had to walk out in the theaters because all that rapid movement and just made people sick to their stomach and dizzy. We don't want that for your videos. So if you have a digital camera, you're already set up. It has great image stabilization as part of it. If you don't have a digital camera and you're filming with your smartphone, then you're going to need some type of handheld stabilizer / gimbal that's going to buffer all that movement, all that shakiness out, allow you to even run with the camera and still get smooth footage. I feel like this applies to just about every YouTuber. Yes, there will be times when you can get away with just a tripod or a tabletop stand for your camera or phone. Fine. But there will be times when you need to capture something in motion or you'll be following a subject. You're walking at a brisk pace. You're trying to hold things and you don't want shaky videos. As far as digital cameras, well, they aren't cheap. Price points can range anywhere from a couple $100s all the way to over $1,000 for a really, really good one. If you have that, you're covered. But for everyone else using their phone, this type of handheld stabilizer runs anywhere from $60 to $70 all the way to a couple $100. I'll put a couple of the top manufacturers here so you can see some of the names to get familiar with them. Now let's talk about the number 2 essential item, the light kit. That one's fairly self-explanatory, right? Unless you're filming a video at night, you're going to want some light around your subject. Many of you will opt for the popular ring light with the stand. Comes in at a price point around $35, very effective. Another option is a studio softbox lighting kit like I'm using. You can get 2 for around $65, made by a company called Mount Dog and many other companies, very effective as well. Another option is an umbrella style lighting kit, typically seen in photography studios. I'm using one right now to illuminate the front of me. Price points are very cheap, around $20, $30 for one, so definitely you have a lot of options to choose from when it comes to lighting, but please invest in some lighting. Okay, third essential item, action cam. So if you ever find yourself trying to track a fast moving object, or you're actually riding on or in a fast moving object, you're going to want something that has great stabilization built in and is designed for action sports. GoPro is the most recognizable brand. You can find these things anywhere from $200 to almost $500. They have 4K video capability and they use a micro SD card inside to capture the footage. I know you're going to love your GoPro style action camera. I think there are only 2 things that are going to frustrate you. One is the battery life is not the greatest, so go ahead and get some extra batteries. And 2, you're going to find that just one camera isn't enough. I quickly bought a second camera, and now I can attach and use 2 at the same time and get different vantage points. Very handy. Okay, fourth essential item, editing software. So if you find yourself filming for 2 to 3 hours, you're likely going to be editing for 2 to 3 hours. A good editing software is so important. You want something that can allow you to layer things like your raw video footage, add in titles, add in music, add in sound effects, on and on and on. So let's talk about my journey. So I started filming with just the iPhone, and the iMovie app comes standard on the iPhone, and it's great, it's powerful. I was able to leave an event, come home in 2 or 3 hours and have a video up with a lot of the basics, good transitions, music, a couple sound effects, things like that. Now at some point, as was the case for me, you'll probably want to move away from editing things on your phone. I ended up buying a better, more powerful laptop. I got a license to a editing software called Wondershare Filmora. It cost about $60. So much more powerful, guys. I'm so glad I made that jump. Yes, change is difficult. I was scared at first. I was like, oh, I know how to do this, and now I got to learn a totally new program, but now it's like a piece of cake, and I love it. If you do a Google or YouTube search for what editing software is most popular with YouTubers, you'll see several names like this. I'm not going to spend the time here to go over those. You can do your own research and find one that best fits you and your channel. Okay, let's talk about the fifth essential item, and that's a file transfer device. The one I have here is a 4-in-1 SD card reader. I can't tell you how much of a lifesaver this device right here is, guys. Keep in mind, I spent months filming and editing on my iPhone, but I was also recording footage from my GoPro cameras and also a drone. Those use micro SD cards. I can't insert a micro SD card into my iPhone, so I was like, how am I going to transfer that footage into my iPhone so I can do my editing? So I quickly had to do some research and found a device like this. You can find it for like $18 at Walmart or get it off Amazon. Once again, it's in the link of the description. As you can see, a device like this gives you multiple ways to get footage over to your phone. You can bring it over from a USB port. You have a regular SD card port. You have a smaller micro SD card port, and you also have another lightning drive port. This device is a must if you're editing on your phone, period. And my sixth essential item for new YouTubers is a catchy intro. Now, of course, you're going to go with something that's tailored to your type of channel. So whether it's cooking or travel or vlogging or lifestyle or cars or whatever, having a good intro visually gives the audience something quick to see about what your brand and what your channel is about, and people kind of get excited about that. Some are short and some are a little longer than others, and that's okay. Here's your chance to use your own creativity when coming up with an intro. There are several intro making type apps that you can download on your phone. One I've used is called Intro Maker, but here are some names of some other popular ones. And most editing software allow you to make some pretty good intros themselves. So maybe you want one where you're just posing, maybe you want one where it's an animated intro, or maybe lightning and explosions, or maybe just your logo itself. Be creative, find one that works for you, and others will enjoy it. And the seventh essential item is around brand recognition. I recommend you put your YouTube channel name or your logo on something as a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a hat. Put a vinyl decal on the side of your car. Something people can see when you're out and about and they can say, hey, that's so-and-so. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and look up their channel name on YouTube right now and check them out and perhaps go subscribe. Now, I've done a couple of things. I have my YouTube channel name on vinyl decals that I've applied to my car windows. Now, I've also invested in some custom shirts for the channel. This was the first one. Had it made by a company called Uber Prints. Price point was around $30 a shirt. But you know the whole apparel game. The bigger the quantity that you're ordering, the lower the price point per shirt. So keep that in mind. Well, there you have it. These items are so beneficial in my eyes. Can you be successful without these items? Sure you can. Can you have a viral video without most of these items? Anything is possible. But if you want consistency and high quality, I think these items will set you in the right direction. If you have a question about any of the items I covered here today, or you have an item that you think should have been the top 7, go ahead and drop a comment. I do read all the comments and I will get back to you. Please come back and join me for part 2 of this video where I'll cover some very exciting and fun things for intermediate and advanced YouTubers. You don't want to miss that. So good luck with your channel and happy YouTubing. See ya.